Alright, I'm recording now too. You good?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Go.
Action. What's your name?
My name is Tunde Way, and we're in my apartment in Southwest Detroit. Oh, and this is a documentary. Yeah, documentary for project titled No Papers on Me. It's a project that that I started to document the immigrant experience.
Why?
Why? Because I'm undocumented. I've been in the United States for 13 years, and I don't. After about 8 years in the United States, I lost my status. So I'm currently undocumented, living in the shadows.
How long have you been undocumented for?
I think 8 years. I think I've been undocumented for 8 years. I came into the United States legally on a plane with my brothers and my mother, and I came here to go to school, to go to university, and I wasn't very successful in school, so among other things, I left school, and when I left school, I lost my status as a foreign student, and then I became undocumented, and this was like, I don't know, maybe 7 years ago. I graduated from high school when I was like 15, and I had gotten admission into like medical school in Nigeria. So like that was the plan. Like I was going to go to medical school, but then my mom was like, "Well, you should try to see if you can go to school in America. Maybe that's better." And of course, like America, yeah. I lived in Nigeria for 16 years. Or 15 or 16 years. Now I wanted to see something else. And then we grew up on, we grew up on like American films, and like all of the music that I listened to in Nigeria was American. Like most of the music, like in 1990, in the 90s it was all, or the late 90s it was all like Puff Daddy, P Diddy, Mace, Bad Boy, like all of that, and we had to prove that we weren't going to stay here forever, so we had to, so we were able to get a visa by proving that first we had some like substantial means, so they want to check your bank account, they want to make sure you have interest in Nigeria that are going to keep you in Nigeria, so that if you go there you come back and you don't stay there and be a burden or whatever to the American society. So yeah, so we just went and we applied, and it's funny because like I remember I was 16, my brother was 17, my older brother was 17, and my younger brother was 15, and when we got there, we were all like worried, like are they going to deny us or whatever, so we went to the visa place, and I remember the question that they asked was like, they asked all of us, like, do you have kids? We're like, no, we don't have kids. They're like, stamp. And then we got the visa to Oakland Community College.
All three of you?
No, well, me and my older brother. My younger brother went to high school here. I think he had, I don't know, like 2 or 3 years of high school left, so he went to high school here, and I just went straight to college. So we moved in with my aunt and uncle, and then later on, their own kids joined us. Our cousins, like 2 of the kids joined us.
How are your aunt and uncle here?
How are they here? Oh, they're here. My aunt and uncle are here legally. They're American citizens.
Were they ever Nigerian?
Yeah, they lived in Nigeria. They had 2 kids in America, and when the kids turned 21, the kids filed for them to become permanent residents. So then they got the permanent residency, and then they filed to become American citizens. So So now they're American citizens. Their kids, the other kids are citizens. So the kids who came to join us here are citizens.
Huh.
So the whole family is a family of citizens. But they're like, I mean, my cousins, we grew up together. We grew up in the same, because their parents were here. They lived with us for a while. So we grew up. We grew up together. I want to write poetry. I don't know if that's like a viable career option, but like poetry and literature and storytelling, film, like these are the kind of things that that I would love to do. And
You wrote it?
yeah, so I wrote this book. I self-published this book like 5 years ago. My brother and I opened up a grocery store like when I turned 25. And so I would sit in the grocery store, and sometimes it was slow, so I would just write poetry.
Where's your grocery store?
It was in Troy, Michigan.
Is it closed?
Yeah, it's closed. It's very closed.
Went out of business?
We went out of business. We lost everything. I've lived a full life.
I learned so many things about you in every sentence. Where are your brothers?
So I live with one of my brothers right now.
You're older or younger?
My younger brother. Actually, he was born a day after me. A year and a day. So his birthday is a day after mine, sorry. Alright.
Where's your older brother?
My older brother, he went back. He was asked to leave the country. He had some issues. It's gonna be a long story. I don't know if you would want me to tell that story.
Okay.
Title of this poem is Black. In the beginning was the world, and it was black. The sky was blue, but above the blue was black. The stars shine, but everywhere they did not shine was black. The earth was red. Sometimes it was sand, but all where it mattered was black. All the matter inside me seemed controlled by a torrid sense of pulverized will. All that mattered to me was to flee from my insouciant worry. Black is being holed up in the dark of a worry-free worry where light is otherworldly, where the spirit's dances are without fear-tipped spears, because fear is only the sight of light when the dark appears. Today was a good day. I roamed the streets where the Romans played, the streets they paved for horse carriages and barefoot relays, but those were dark days, when slaves were black and learning was white, where on some days the strength of naked games gave birth to Olympic pursuits and babies, but on other days donkeys brayed and asses were whipped and flayed. Black doesn't get a medal, but a stiletto, and black taints white, so black is mulatto. On the naked back of my promise, my burdens are heaved. In the drought of this thinking season, I see I'm good for keeping as long as I keep moving. And the mobile mule is as good as leather and glue. Black is leather, hot and sticky, burning my back as I lay down to die, sublimely supine. Black is blue, warm and sticky, pressing my stomach down as it dreams of waves to rise. In this hole, where time is nothing but the taking of precious talking, the wasting of efforts, the stalking of fair victory, rather the walking of paces backwards, the wishing not for plummets but feathers, not for women but mothers, not for money but means, not for protein but beans. In this hole, the world is black, and black is backs against the wall. Not transparent requests blended into the noise of a troublesome set, not panicked passengers ferried aboard a wicked ark, not the stained hands of shooting arms, powdered and gunpowder with psalms in their palms. Black is choosing to remain in the dark. So there's something called the deferred action. It's DACA, deferred action something. I don't know, but basically, it is if you came into this country before you were 15, you went to an American high school, and you're under 30, you're eligible, and you're currently undocumented. You're eligible for this DACA program, which means that you can get a driver's license. You can get a work permit, and you wouldn't be deported. So that is a category that my brother fits in. I don't. I came in when I was 16, so I missed it by a year. So anyway, so he applied for this, and when he applied for this, I think about 3 months ago, he used to live with my cousin in Pontiac, Pontiac, Michigan. So a month or so after he applied for this, some plainclothes policemen came to my cousin's house, and they were looking, so they asked my cousin, is Gregory, so that's my brother's English name, is Gregory here? And they're like, no, Gregory's in here. Like, where's Gregory? And I'm like, oh, we don't know. And they were like, is William here? That's also my English name as well. And they were like, no. So when I heard this, I was like freaking out. I was like, why are they like searching for us? Like, is it the police? Is it immigration? Like, who's looking for us? So this is like a constant fear that I had like been living with, like in the back of my mind, that at any time, a policeman would just ask, like, hey, are you here legally? And then if the answer was no, then I could be arrested, and I could be taken to jail, and then I could be deported. And who wants to go to jail? I'm too pretty to go to jail. I wouldn't do well there. So, and I'm kind of
Move the computer back a little bit.
kind of making light of it, but it's, I've had friends who were arrested and were deported. My older brother was, he was arrested, and then, he had to leave the country. So it was something that was like it wasn't like a distant fear; it was real. So when this happened, I just became, I don't know, I was sad, and I was scared, but then I also became. I became angry. I was like, I don't want to live, in fear anymore. None of my friends really knew my status, just a couple of people. I don't know, I think I was ashamed or something, I don't know. But I didn't feel comfortable like telling people that, oh, I'm undocumented and I've been here undocumented for however long, and technically I can't work, and technically I can't open up a bank account in my name, and I can't, rent a house in my, just like all this crazy shit that goes with being undocumented. So I had this fellowship writing job, and every 2 weeks I was supposed to produce a blog post, because that's what I do. I write. I'm a writer. So when this happened, it just so happened that the day I found out that the police were looking for myself, or were looking for my brother and possibly me, it was the day before I was supposed to write a blog post. So that night, I just, I wrote an essay about being undocumented, and I titled it, "I'm Indignant." I'm just going to find it, and I'll just read part of it. And it's great because I can tell you the exact day that it happened, because so it was, the day I found out was November 28th, 2012. And that was the day that I decided to come out. Well, technically I came out the day after, because that's when it was published. So I started and I say, I'm angry because I'm afraid. My anger is different from that wild, often flagellating anger born of despair and desperation. I'm angry because a scepter of fear hangs over me and many others like me. Try as we may to escape this anxiety, it only dangles more precariously from a string that gets ever thinner with each successive and doomed attempt at freedom. That's how I opened it. And then in here I say, the life of a so-called illegal immigrant is a dehumanizing experience in the United States, as evidenced by such a reductionist epithet. The common allegory, quote, living in the shadows, end quote, employed in reference to this misfortune is but an anemic euphemism issued to attenuate a reality much crueler that can be evinced in words. I used a lot of big words.
Yeah, were you
I was angry, so big words came out.
For a failing student, you sure have great diction.
Yeah. And then I say, and this is sort of like what like I think in my mind like captured like my sense of fear. I said, the quote illegal immigrant has a life of perpetual unease. There's a permanent crook in her neck from always looking over her shoulder. Every rumble of her belly she mistakes for an unwelcome knock on her door. Even her usually sturdy constitution threatens rupture every time she drops her daughter off at a school or catches a bus to work. Why? Because at any moment, without the slightest of warning, she could be asked to produce an ID card for which she is not eligible to receive, or else face arrest. Yeah. And I just go on and I say she's a non-person, nameless, faceless, and stripped naked of rights in a country with a Bill of Rights. And I end it by saying, I'm angry because I'm her. I'm an illegal immigrant who has no rights and little voice. This is not some detached literary device. I am an illegal immigrant and I'm indignant. And so that's how I felt. So I decided to share other people's stories like mine, and I asked some friends like Tony and Ben, they're all behind the camera, and Matt Dibble, and everybody else, and just people to help out, to help tell these stories.
Hey, you wrote that when?
November 28th, 2012. That's when I wrote the blog post, I'm indignant.
So you've only been out of the closet for a little over a year.
Out of the closet? I'm not out of the closet. I came out, not the closet. Just came out.
You've only been out of the shadows.
Yeah, let's be specific.
It's a shadowy closet.
It's a shadowy closet.
Alright, you only came out of the shadows a year ago?
Yeah, and I was worried about, less than a year ago. I came out on November 28th. And I was worried about, stuff like my job, and because I have a job and I write, and I was worried about...
Wait, November 28th, 2012?
Yeah.
It was just like a couple of months ago.
Yeah, I came out a couple of months ago, that's what I said, yeah.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Wait, so what blog post? This is for UIX?
No, this is for I had a fellowship, a 4-month writing fellowship with an organization out of Cleveland, Ohio called the Civic Commons, and it's a platform for people to engage in civic discussions, like a big discussion board, and people can talk about civic issues.
So what is it like being an immigrant?
Being just an immigrant in general, or just being undocumented?
Undocumented.
I don't know. It's normal. It's great. I mean, it's not great. It's normal, except when shit happens. You go out and you can't. So right now, I don't have an ID, right? So if I'm going out with friends, and I know this sounds like a very ridiculous problem. If I'm going out with friends, I can't you show my ID to get a drink. I have to say, hey, look at my beard, I'm 30, and then maybe they let me in. But even more serious than that is I can't open up a bank account with my ID because it's expired. I can't.
What do you do?
Everything. Well, so what I did was before my ID expired, a while ago actually, before I became undocumented, I opened up a business. So I just do everything through my business name.
No, smart.
Yeah, that was brilliant. But it doesn't, it's just, those are minor inconveniences that, that I don't mind, but just I think what I'm most upset at is the idea that people aren't treated well, I think.
You can go ahead.
I think, so there is no regard for so-called illegal or documented immigrants. There's no regard for who they are as people. People don't consider undocumented immigrants people, and they might say they do, but their policies don't reflect that. If you are undocumented and you are arrested, you can be detained for months on end as they're trying to figure out whether they want to deport you or whether they want to give you bail. So you can be taken from your family and put in jail. I don't know. It's just I don't understand. I don't understand how people can treat other people that way. It boggles my mind.
people have to go to work, but you won't give them a driver's license, and then when they drive, they're arrested. You know, I don't know. I'm not doing a good job of explaining the inhumanity of being undocumented, but
Well,
it's
speak in more personal terms then.
okay. So
When has it affected you aside from when you try and go out and booze?
okay. Well, so this might be, I don't know, this might be weird, but it's like, so if
We can cut it if we
Yeah.
don't want to use it.
yeah.
It might lead, if you say it, it might lead to something else.
Yeah. No, I don't mind saying it. So like if I'm like dating a girl, for example, you know, and it's kind of hard to explain it, but I wouldn't tell, like, maybe eventually, and depending on who the girl is or who the girl was back then anyway, like I would say, you know, I'll tell them I'm undocumented, and even before I do, it would take a lot of effort and it would be uncomfortable because I don't know what they would think. I don't know if they assume I'm trying to get married to them so I can get my papers, you know. But it's but usually though, to their credit, whenever I say it, it's like, you know, it's not a big deal, but it's a huge deal for me, and it's so hard to explain how big of a deal it is because you can't. I don't know. It's hard to put it into words, you know. Basically, basically I'm a second class citizen, right? I can't get a job, you know, and when I do have a job, I have to stick with the job because that's like all I can get, you know. So if I don't want to do something, I don't have a choice. And I think it's just it's not the best way of, it's not the most efficient way to use human talent. You know, it's ridiculous. You know?
What would you prefer? What do you want?
I want to be legal.
Legal? You want to be an American citizen?
I don't know. You know, I don't know. That's like a technical thing now. You know, being an American citizen is a technical thing. You know, because it means that you have rights to vote. You can get welfare. I don't want. You know, I want to participate in the American economy. I want to participate in America as an idea. You know, legally. You know, I want to be able to express my opinions about America. I want to be able to influence in what I see as the right direction, what is happening around me. So there's this quote that kind of, I think, goes like this. It says, the act of immigration or the act or migration is an entrepreneurial act or action. And what's funny?
You just like directly quoted what you did right over there.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, why don't you try it again? One more time. Just like,
Okay. There's a quote that goes, migration is an entrepreneurial act. Yeah, and I think I agree. I think it's tough, especially if, well, when I was 16, you know, it wasn't tough to like move from a different country. For me anyway, it was more of an adventure. But I think the older you get, the more responsibility you have, and the more sense of place and sense of self in the place that you have, you know, the harder it is to like migrate somewhere else, to move somewhere else, you know. But the hope is that, you know, the reward is greater than the risk, and that, you know, and that the reward is enriching, not just for you, but for everybody who comes after you. And I think that's what motivates a lot of people to move, you know, because they're moving for better. They're moving, you know, because they want something better than they have. And not only do they want something better, they see something better. So that's where home is, you know. But I mean, I would forever identify as a Nigerian. That's where I grew up. But then, a lot of who I am now happened in America, you know. So I don't know. Home is just wherever I feel comfortable, and I hope home keeps changing, you know, because I hope I feel comfortable in different places.
for before he turned 16, which I did. He was 16, I was 15, so it benefited me. But it benefited me after too long. I've already been here for like what 12, almost 13 years, and finally I get like a bit of reprieve. Just for the DACA was only for 2 years, so within that 2 years you could get a driver's license, stuff like that.
Yeah. What do you think the difference is between my experience and your experience as a documenter? Now look at me. I'm older than you, but you look older than me by like 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look old, man. You look like they beat your ass down and shit.
No, I beat myself up more, but
I look fresh. No, but seriously, like, what's the difference between your experience and my experience?
I've been looking for 13 years, know how to job.
For real? For 13 years?
Not 13
you had
years.
a job?
I won't say I've not had it for 13 years. No, I mean like, I've not been in society, put it that way. I've not been in society. I haven't been in society. So there's a disconnect between myself and society.
So you can just snap it at any moment in time.
I don't snap, man. I'm an optimistic guy, man. Pretty optimistic,
What do you do now?
I don't want to say on camera.
But no, but it's not.
It's not illegal, no. It's not, well, it's not illegal. But I mean,
Technically, everything you do is illegal.
yeah, technically everything I do is legal, yeah.
This is illegal.
I mean,
Off the record, what do you do?
off the record, I do real estate because it's unregulated. So
Yeah, no shit.
it's
Shit
unregulated.
is fucked up around here.
Exactly. So, I helped a lady out a couple years back, got her about 100 and something thousand. And she split that with her husband. So now I'm just working on some more deals. And
What is your biggest challenge being undocumented?
on my undocumented status is so right now at my age it's not the biggest of my problems right now. I'm saying it affected a lot of things, but as a man you still gotta rise to the occasion. So that's what I feel like I have to do, despite is to rise to the occasion and be successful.
So can you answer my question?
That's the answer. Is rising to the occasion. It's not a challenge. You just have to rise to the occasion.
What is the best thing that has happened to you by being undocumented?
I think it's kind of strange, but it makes you stronger. It makes you stronger. It makes you not depend on a lot of stuff that most people depend on.
Like a job.
I mean, not like a job, I'm saying, but it just makes you less, it makes you more depending on yourself and what you must do. Yeah, more dependable on yourself. You're more dependable,
Well, what would you guys have done if your parents weren't able to have helped you out over the years?
And
I've sold your body for.
our parents. What our parents did for us was, our parents. What the parents did for us was just give us a mindset. That's one of the most crucial things that they did. They gave us a mindset.
And they also gave us, they also give us expectations. So they have expectations that are insurmountable. So that could be a good thing or a bad thing. So we know how high, like the bar is set and how much they expect. So I think that's also huge too, because nothing but a PhD is good enough for a mother.
Yeah.
That's the truth. So That's how high it is.
If you guys had never come to America, what would you be doing right now, do you think? You ever think about it?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I mean, Nigeria, I'll be on solid ground. I mean, where you walk on is your home, so you feel comfortable in achieving stuff. You know, I mean, me personally though, I mean that's how I feel. You know, I've been, I mean maybe it's just my own fault, but I mean people. I don't know. To me, I mean, it's like being undocumented is. I mean, how being undocumented is like not being welcome in it's like having a guest, and before you, it's like having a guest that come to your house. Then as soon as he walks in, shit, shit just breaks loose. Like you tell the guy, look, you can't put your shoes right there, sleep on the floor. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's like really walking into someone's house. You want to feel like comfortable. You want to come, have the keys, sit down. But nah, when you're undocumented, all that shit is. It's like fuck it. Don't open my fridge. Buy your own shit. Walk while I drive the car, shit like that is
Yeah.
Do you ever want to go back? Do you think it'd be easier life?
I mean, I like America, now, I mean, I like America, I mean, just speaking about in terms of being undocumented, I mean, it's one of those issues that's unresolved, and without this being documented, without this documentary, nobody will really understand the psychological feel to it,
Yeah, it's hard to explain.
Yeah, you won't understand the anxiety.
It seems like, yeah, that's the word, anxiety.
You won't understand the anxiety and all that stuff. But
can you try and explain it?
I mean,
Just imagine, like, I think it would be like, imagine if you were gay, right, in like in a conservative Christian family that picketed gay rights activities. So imagine you were like, or imagine like you were a sheep living among wolves. Like you're just vulnerable. Like you just feel there's no way to explain it. It's like it's physical vulnerability, it's emotional vulnerability. Just like you just feel vulnerable. So I actually like now I'm not now, but I think I can empathize more strongly with people who are discriminated against because of their sexuality, because
definitely.
Just because of whatever. I think it's just it's some bullshit, man. Yeah, it's just crazy. And it's just hard to because it's only words, right? So when you tell somebody I'm undocumented, you only said words, but you said something that is so unimaginable because you've been keeping this thing in forever, and yeah, it's just I don't know. True that.
True that, man.
Do you guys want to exit through the archway?
Can we play some football together for a second?
Can you exit first before my camera dies, and then I'll switch the battery?
Okay. Both of us? Welcome to the WB.
Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Keep going, keep going.